on tracking and measuring, right? That's what we're talking about this week. Today, I want to go over the 4 cornerstones of, in essence, is the Tom Ferry coaching system, like what we teach, right? So the 4 cornerstones of any real estate business, right? This is the basically the essentials to building any successful business, right? And if you want to write them down, right, the 4 cornerstones are this. The first one is developing and executing on business strategies and plans. That's the first cornerstone. Second is measuring, accumulating, and analyzing business intelligence. And very much what we talked about this week about tracking and measuring your numbers, knowing the ratios, right? The third is growing business markets. And the fourth is developing systems that create stabilization. So these are the 4 cornerstones in building the essence of any business, right? So developing, executing on business strategies and plans, measuring, accumulating, and analyzing business intelligence, growing business markets, and then developing systems and creating stabilization. Right. So, basically our coaching is oriented towards these 4 cornerstones, right? They are the foundation, right? And the methods and framework is what it comes down to establishing a successful business, right? What do you have in place? So let's look at the first one. First one is developing and executing on business strategies and plan, right? That's your business plan. So your business plan is your blueprint for your business. It not only outlines, a broad strategy to attain the specific goals that you're asking, it also fills in specifics on how to execute on this strategy, right? See, your annual business plan outlines the strategy, but then when we break it down, we take it further. We go into a quarterly plan, right? Where on a quarterly plan, it's more actionable stuff that happens because, it's more focused. Right, the shorter the time frame, the more impactful it's given to action, or then lack of action in some cases. So it is better to look at and activate and adjust if you're 1/3 into the year versus looking at 1/3 before the year is over. Right. So a quarterly plan breaks it down, and then we break that down into a monthly plan. Right. And we'll throw in some caveats like this listing challenge to push you some more. Right. See, the greater the focus, the more specific from a quarterly plan to a monthly plan. And of course, after we do that, what do we work on every single week? Your weekly goals. I have this filled out. Like every month, we look at our goal for the month, but every week you're coming in and filling in your numbers, right? Keeping track of that. So, and then when we look at our coaching calls, what they simply are action steps, where are the smallest component of the entire plan. So we're doing these little small steps to get us to our overall business goal for the year. So no matter how small or large the steps that we're taking, whether it be weekly, quarterly, or that whole yearly plan, it's all working towards that bigger picture that we have, right? And an understanding that in our course of the year, towards our goal for that business plan, that ultimate goal, there are going to be times that we're going to fine tune this. We're going to look at this. And here's the key to all of it. The plan is worthless if you don't execute. So your execution is really depends on your discipline and the accountability you have every week. It's those little things that you do every single day. The fact that you're on this call, the fact that you're getting up at 4:30 in the morning to be on this call are the little steps to get you to your ultimate goal. So when we look at the developing and executing of a business strategy and plans, right? It is that the yearly, the quarterly, the weekly, and of course, the daily. It's the little steps that we're taking towards working towards that. Okay. So that's what I outlined in the first one. The second one is measuring, organizing, and analyzing business intelligence. Okay. So business intelligence, this is the hard data, right? This is where you must collect and analyze and plan in a meaningful way. That comes down to it. It also provides information necessary to adjust the plan as it is being executed. It is key to analyzing your success, right? Giving that your weekly goal and your action plan, right? To facilitate and process what you've gained in business intelligence. If you know that we need to be working on a specific skill set, right? Like we're going on 20 listing appointments, but we're only getting 2 listings. We need to analyze that. We need to help that and look at that. So business intelligence, what it does for you is it provides 2 very important things. Number one, it helps you analyze what's happening in your local market so that you can better assess what's happening in your own business. If you're in a marketplace right now where inventory is low and you're constantly working with buyers, something to analyze, something to think about that, right? Something to be working on. The second thing that business intelligence provides is feedback regarding both your leading and lagging indicators. See, a lead indicator, tells the business owner whether they're on track to hit their goals. A lagging indicator tells them whether or not you hit your goals. So as a salesperson, getting a listing appointment is an example of a leading indicator. The number of closed transactions you get, that's a lagging indicator, right? So when we look at, hey, the numbers that open conversations to lead to better questions, a couple of natural questions you want to ask yourself would be, what is it that I'm getting in the way of making more appointments? Like when you look at that, is it what's getting in the way of getting more appointments? What can you do to get more appointments right now, right? Should you change your focus from working buyers to maybe working some sellers? Reflecting on these numbers, understanding the ratios, understanding what's going on so that you can make better business decisions. So when you look at measuring and organizing and analyzing business intelligence, ultimately is, are you using the highest and best use of your time? Is that's what's happening? Or should we switch it up, right? What do you need to change, right? Maybe we're looking at probably presenting in the wrong fashion. We may need to change the way we're doing our presentations. Maybe we're focusing on the wrong lead sources and we should change those lead sources, all right? So going to number 3, and this is growing in business markets. So, and in any business, we want to keep looking to adapt and to change. So the old saying is, if you're not growing, then you're dying, right? So when it comes to growth, it means that you have to adapt and change. If you're doing the same thing, if what you did got you here, the same thing is not going to get you there. We have to adapt and change, right? Because changes will happen inevitably in your marketplace, right? Competition, change in market conditions, there will be changes. And if you don't adapt to those changes, then you're never going to grow. Business grows as a result of one of 2 factors. One, the business is growing because you're selling more units. That's easy. I'm selling more property, I'm selling more homes, your business is growing. A second way to grow your business is to expand into more higher end properties. Looking at selling the same number of units, but now you're generating more income because you're selling higher end homes, right? And with that, it can be also just a change in your commission. Who here has been struggling with commission lately? Are sellers beating you up and saying, hey, homes are selling just like that. I don't want to pay the 5% or the 6% commission. Hey, can you do it for 2.5%? Right? Are you guys noticing that? So when that happens, what is your go-to? Are you buying into that? Are you buying into the story, or are you increasing your skill set so that you can handle that objection? Because you know it's coming, right? Adapting to ways to make more money, right? What else I have here? It's critical when it comes to growth in one market is to be well planned, well executed, and here's the key: do you have a marketing plan? Right? Ultimately, businesses need to have the source, the way to generate, and the way to convert. So when we look at a marketing strategy to expand our markets, right? Do you need to add a couple more lead sources to your business? Will that help you? And obviously more units, or perhaps working a more higher end area or geographical farm as an example, right? Which lead sources could you add in this year that would get you at least 10 more transactions, right? How many lead sources do you have in play that are 10 plus transactions for each, right? Again, we're growing. That's cornerstone number 3, which is growing the business. Okay, last one. And this is developing systems that stabilize. When going through this exercise, when you look at your real estate business, there will be setbacks. There will be, what we call the glass ceiling, where you're feeling that you're doing the same work, you're putting in actually more effort, putting in more work, but it seems like you're not going anywhere. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I call this real estate transactions like grapes. They come in bunches, and all of a sudden it's like, boom, you're all of a sudden busy. Now the question becomes is, do you have the systems in play? So when you have this business come your way, when that pipeline finally bursts, and it's like, oh my God, I got this going on, I got that going on, been prospecting like crazy for the last 3 months. Now everyone and their mother wants to put their home up for sale. Interest rates has just changed. Now I have tons of listing appointments going on. Do you have the systems? Are you ready to stabilize that? Right? So this is where we need to be working on some systems. Like every business, no matter how large, right, or how complex it is, the more you grow, the more systems you have to add, the more processes, the more procedures, right? We need to add into it, more hiring people. What system? Because systems create efficiencies. And it's essential when it comes to scaling any business, right? Are you adding in new technology? Do you need to add in more people? What standing operation procedures do you need to change to adapt to the business, to adapt to the growth? Right? See, at the end of the day, scaling a business, there are 2 things that you need to leverage. You need to leverage technology to scale the business, and you need to leverage people. Who do you need to bring in? What technology you need to bring in? Do you need to change your CRM? Should you hire an ISA? Do we need to hire a virtual assistant to help you with this? Even if you are on a team and you're like, hey, Danny, I'm showing agents. That's like, I'm showing houses. Cool. Should you have a VA to help you with the paperwork outside of the team min person or transaction coordinator? Should you look into hiring someone that can do the touches, the nurturing before your team members get this lead, right? What processes do you have in place, right? One of my favorite ones that everyone can use here. It's an easy piece of technology. And that is Hit 'em Up. The app, Hit 'em Up. Make sure you type it in that way. It's Hit 'em Up app. Because otherwise you can get the song from Snoop Dogg. Right? So you have Hit 'em Up app. Why? Because it's mass texting that comes up personally. You can type in a awesome message and embed the person's name throughout it and send it to like 50 people in one shot. And they all seem as if they came to them personalized. Every single one of you can use that piece of technology. A second piece of technology would be Slide Broadcast. It's a personalized voicemail where the client's phone does not ring. It just gets embedded, and you leave them a message. And I share these 2 pieces of technology because everyone on this call, even as an admin on this call, you should be working people that database of yours, friends, family, neighbors, that wonderful pool of people that trust you already. Using this type of technology will help you stay in touch. It's those little touch points that we use with our clients. And everyone here can use that piece of technology, which is very inexpensive, right? Obviously, for my team leads and my bigger teams, you're going to use bigger and better technology that's out there, granted, but this is probably the basics for everybody. All right, so those are the 4 cornerstones of your real estate business. Just as a recap, real simple, it is developing, executing your business strategies and plans, measuring, accumulating, analyzing business intelligence, growing your business markets, and developing systems and creating stabilization. Now, before I let everybody go, just a quick announcement. Next week, Thursday, there will be no Danny's Daily Huddle. I'm going down to Boston, so no next week, Thursday. Tomorrow, however, we do have Danny's Daily Huddle. So just a reminder of that. All right. So does anyone have any questions, concerns, hallucinations? What do you guys got? Does anyone have any ideas for topics that you want me to discuss on these calls? Send me an email. Okay, send me an email. Okay, I'm getting thin here, folks. Getting thin. I'm not gonna lie, right? So send me some ideas so I'll do the research, but I need to know some ideas. All right. All right. So please unmute yourselves. Please unmute yourselves. All right. Where's Moxie? Oh, there's Moxie. All right. You guys ready? So what day is today?
Money-making day.
Love it. You guys are awesome. It is a money-making day. What do you have to do in your business right now to move the needle? You know what it is. Go do it. I'll talk to all of you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Danny.